Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided emperors, slaves, and scholars for over 2,300 years, continues to resonate today. Why? Because Stoicism is not just about abstract ideas. It's a practical guide for living a virtuous, resilient, and meaningful life. But who are the great minds behind this timeless philosophy? And how did their lives shape their teachings? In this video, we'll journey through the lives and ideas of the most influential Stoic philosophers. We'll start with Zeno of Citium, who founded Stoicism in Athens, and end with Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, who embodied Stoic ideals during times of crisis. Along the way, we'll uncover their stories, explore their teachings, and see how their wisdom can still guide us in our modern lives. Our journey begins in Athens, a city of great thinkers, with a man whose shipwreck sparked a philosophical revolution. Zeno's journey into philosophy began with disaster. Born in 334 BCE in Citium, a port city in Cyprus, Zeno followed his father into the merchant trade. But during a voyage, his ship was wrecked, and he lost everything. Stranded in Athens with nothing but his wits, Zeno sought solace in the city's vibrant intellectual life. Legend has it that Zeno stumbled upon a book about Socrates in a bookseller's shop. Inspired, he asked the bookseller where he could meet men like Socrates. The bookseller pointed to a Cynic philosopher nearby, and Zeno began his philosophical training. The Cynics taught Zeno to value simplicity and virtue, rejecting wealth and societal norms. But Zeno wanted a more structured philosophy. Around 300 BCE, he founded Stoicism, teaching at the Painted Stoa, a colonnade adorned with vibrant frescoes. His school became known as Stoicism because of this location. Zeno taught that the key to happiness is living in harmony with nature. He emphasized that virtue qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control is the only true good. Everything else, such as wealth, health, and even life itself, are merely indifference, neither inherently good nor bad, but valuable only in how they're used. Zeno's journey began with loss, a shipwreck that took away his wealth, his stability, and perhaps even his sense of purpose. Many would see such an event as a catastrophe, but Zeno used it as a turning point, a chance to rebuild his life on a stronger foundation. This is one of the first lessons Stoicism offers us. Adversity is not the end, but a new beginning. Zeno teaches us that external possessions, money, property, even the plans we make, are not truly ours to control. What we do control is how we respond when life disrupts those plans. Think about your own life. Have you faced moments where everything seemed to fall apart? Perhaps you lost a job, a relationship, or a long-held dream. In those moments, did you focus on what you had lost or on what you could still build? Zeno's story reminds us that we can't control life's storms, but we can navigate through them with resilience and purpose. His philosophy challenges us to ask, are we building our happiness on external things that can be taken away? Or are we cultivating inner strength and virtue that no storm can destroy? Here's a small exercise. Take a moment to reflect on a setback you've faced recently. Ask yourself, what part of this situation was beyond my control? And what part of it could I approach differently? Write down one step you can take to turn that setback into an opportunity for growth. By reflecting on Zeno's lesson, we can start to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones to a stronger, more virtuous self. Zeno laid the foundation of Stoicism, but it was Chrysippus who turned it into a comprehensive system of thought. Born in 279 BCE in Soli, a city in modern-day Turkey, Chrysippus was a prolific writer, producing over 700 works. Although most of his writings are lost, his influence is undeniable. Chrysippus was known for his intellectual rigor and his ability to defend Stoic ideas against critics. He refined the Stoic understanding of logic, introducing concepts that influenced later thinkers, including the dichotomy of control. This idea teaches us to focus only on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and to accept everything else as part of the natural order. For example, if it rains on your wedding day, you can't control the weather, but you can control your response to it. Chrysippus also believed that emotions arise from false judgments. If you feel anger or fear, it's because you've misunderstood the situation. By correcting your judgment, you can regain your emotional balance. Chrysippus was more than a philosopher. He was a systematizer of Stoic thought, a thinker who transformed Stoicism from a promising idea into a robust and enduring philosophy. Born in Soli in 279 BCE, Chrysippus believed that understanding the universe required both logic and ethics, two sides of the same coin. Central to Chrysippus's philosophy was the concept of the dichotomy of control. He taught that human suffering often stems from focusing on things beyond our control, such as other people's opinions, external events, or even the inevitability of death. Instead, he argued, we should direct our energy toward what is within our control, our own thoughts, actions, and choices. But Chrysippus didn't stop at ethics. He believed that clear thinking was essential to living a virtuous life. He refined Stoic logic, a powerful tool for identifying and correcting false beliefs. For example, if someone insults you, the natural reaction might be anger. But Chrysippus would ask, what belief is causing this anger? Is the insult truly harmful, or is it your interpretation of the insult that causes pain? By challenging these assumptions, he showed how we can free ourselves from unnecessary emotional turmoil. Chrysippus didn't advocate for suppressing emotions entirely. Instead, he taught that emotions should align with reason. Fear, anger, and grief arise from false judgments, but joy and serenity come from understanding the natural order and living virtuously. Chrysippus's teachings invite us to reflect on our own lives. How often do we let external events dictate our emotional state? What would happen if we paused to examine our beliefs and challenged the ones causing us pain? Think about a recent situation where you felt anger or frustration. What belief or assumption fueled that emotion? Was it based on something you could control, or was it tied to an external event? How might viewing the situation through the lens of the dichotomy of control change your response? Centuries after Zeno and Chrysippus, Stoicism found a new champion in Epictetus, a philosopher who proved that wisdom can thrive even in the harshest conditions. Born around 50 CE in Hierapolis, a city in modern Turkey, Epictetus was enslaved as a young man and suffered a permanent injury to his leg. Yet, he found freedom in philosophy. Epictetus's teachings emphasized that true freedom comes not from external circumstances, but from mastering your own mind. After gaining his freedom, he founded a school in Greece, where he taught practical philosophy to students from all walks of life. His philosophy centers on the dichotomy of control. He urges us to focus on our thoughts, values, and actions while accepting that external events are beyond our control. His works, recorded by his student Arrian, remain a cornerstone of Stoic thought. For Epictetus, his life was a testament to the power of resilience and self-mastery. Born into slavery around 50 CE in Hierapolis, a city in modern-day Turkey, Epictetus faced adversity from an early age. Despite enduring physical hardship, including a leg injury that left him permanently disabled, Epictetus refused to let his circumstances define him. Through philosophy, Epictetus discovered a profound truth. True freedom is not found in external circumstances, but in the mastery of one's own mind. After gaining his freedom, he dedicated his life to teaching others how to live virtuously, focusing on what they could control and letting go of what they could not. At the heart of Epictetus's philosophy is the dichotomy of control, a simple yet transformative concept. He taught that life can be divided into two categories: things we can control, such as our thoughts, actions, and values, and things we cannot control, such as the actions of others, external events, or even our own mortality. Epictetus believed that much of our unhappiness comes from wanting reality to be different than it is. He urged his students to align their desires with the natural order of the universe. This doesn't mean passive resignation, but accepting that some things are beyond our control, while striving to act virtuously within the bounds of what we can influence. Epictetus challenges us to reflect deeply on how we approach life's challenges. Here are 3 questions inspired by his teachings that you can explore in your own journal. What situations in your life are causing you stress or frustration? Are they within your control or beyond it? How can you adjust your mindset or actions to focus only on what you can influence? What would aligning your desires with reality look like in this situation? By taking time to answer these questions, you may discover new ways to navigate challenges with calm and clarity. Seneca the Younger, a Roman senator and advisor to Emperor Nero, brought Stoicism into the political arena. Born in 04 BCE, Seneca lived during one of Rome's most turbulent periods. navigating the dangerous waters of imperial politics. Despite his wealth and power, Seneca wrote extensively on Stoic ethics, encouraging readers to value simplicity, manage their emotions, and live with integrity. His essays, such as On the Shortness of Life, remind us that time is our most precious resource. Seneca's works are filled with practical advice. For instance, in On Anger, he describes techniques for managing this destructive emotion, such as pausing before reacting and examining the root cause of your feelings. Seneca the Younger lived at the crossroads of power and philosophy. As a Roman senator, playwright, and advisor to Emperor Nero, he navigated the political intrigue of ancient Rome while cultivating a Stoic outlook on life. But his most profound reflections were on the passage of time and the nature of human emotions. One of Seneca's central themes is the value of time. In his essay On the Shortness of Life, he writes, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Seneca reminds us that time is our most precious resource, far more valuable than wealth or power, because once it is spent, it can never be recovered. In our modern world, where distractions are endless, Seneca's warning is more relevant than ever. He challenges us to ask, how are we spending our days? Are we investing our time in what truly matters, or are we letting it slip away on trivial pursuits? Take a moment to reflect on how you use your time. List the activities that genuinely enrich your life, those that bring you closer to your goals or align with your values. Then, identify the distractions that pull you away. How might you reclaim even 1 hour of your day for something meaningful? Our journey ends with Marcus Aurelius, the Philosopher-King. Born in 121 CE, Marcus ruled the Roman Empire during times of war and plague. Despite his immense responsibilities, he found time to write Meditations, a personal journal of Stoic reflections. Marcus believed that obstacles are opportunities to grow stronger. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This principle teaches us to transform difficulties into stepping stones. Marcus's humility and commitment to virtue serve as a reminder that true leadership is rooted in service to others. Marcus Aurelius, often called the Philosopher-King, ruled the Roman Empire during some of its most challenging times. Born in 121 CE, Marcus faced relentless wars, political intrigue, and a devastating plague. Yet, amidst this chaos, he turned inward, finding solace and strength in Stoicism. His personal reflections, recorded in Meditations, offer timeless guidance for overcoming adversity and leading with wisdom. Marcus believed that leadership was not about power or glory, but about serving others. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." For Marcus, leadership was an opportunity to practice virtuism, courage, justice, and temperance, and to act as a custodian of the greater good. In a world that often rewards ambition over integrity, Marcus reminds us that true leadership stems from selflessness and humility. He challenges us to ask, how can I use my position, no matter how small, to uplift others? One of Marcus's most enduring lessons is his perspective on obstacles. He famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way," rather than seeing challenges as roadblocks. Marcus viewed them as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Imagine facing a setback, perhaps a failed project, a personal loss, or a sudden change of plans. Marcus would encourage you to pause and ask, how can I use this moment to practice patience, resilience, or creativity? Adversity, he believed, is not something to avoid, but to embrace. Take a moment to reflect on a challenge you're currently facing. Write down the obstacle and explore how it could become a stepping stone. What virtue, whether patience, courage, or wisdom, could you practice in response to this difficulty? In Meditations, Marcus often reminds himself to focus on his own mind, the one thing he can control. He writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For Marcus, inner peace came from aligning his thoughts with reason and accepting life's natural order. Marcus's wisdom challenges us to cultivate our inner world amidst the noise of daily life. When faced with uncertainty or conflict, how often do we focus on what we cannot control? And what would happen if we redirected that energy inward to calm our thoughts and strengthen our resolve? Write down the thoughts or worries occupying your mind. Then, categorize them. What is within your control and what is not? Practice letting go of what lies beyond your influence and focus on the actions you can take today to create a sense of peace. Marcus Aurelius lived his philosophy, demonstrating that, even in the most turbulent times, we can lead with virtue, transform obstacles into opportunities, and find peace by mastering our own minds. His reflections remind us that greatness is not in what we achieve, but in how we respond to life's challenges. Imagine what your life could look like if you fully embraced Marcus's teachings. How might you lead with greater integrity? How could you transform the next challenge you face into an opportunity for growth? And how might you cultivate a sense of calm amidst life's storms? What part of Marcus Aurelius's philosophy speaks to you the most? Share your reflections in the comments below, and let's continue exploring how Stoic wisdom can guide us in modern times. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Stoic wisdom. Don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more timeless lessons from history. Until next time, may you find strength and peace in the teachings of Stoicism.